Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to walk through a simple, step-by-step guide to the 5 daily prayers in Islam, a beautiful and structured ritual known as Salah. So let's dive right in.
But hold on, before we jump into the how-to, let's just think about the why. I mean, how does a practice that you do 5 times every single day actually shape someone's life, their thoughts, and their faith? It's a really good question to keep in the back of your mind as we go.
You know, there's this really powerful analogy that compares Salah to someone bathing in a river 5 times a day. Just think about that for a second. The chance to wash away your worries and mistakes that often. That's really the spiritual heart of it all. It's a daily act of cleansing and starting fresh.
So, at its core, Salah isn't just a tradition. It's one of the absolute pillars of Islam. It's seen as a fundamental duty for Muslims, and it's all about keeping that direct line, that constant communication, open with God. And this brings up a really important point. On one hand, prayer is this incredibly personal conversation. It's a way you can seek guidance and just feel connected. But on the other hand, it's also a sacred responsibility. It's that balance between the personal relationship and the profound duty that really defines its importance.
All right, so before anyone even starts praying, there's a whole preparation process. It's really all about setting the stage, getting your mind and your space ready for worship. Let's take a look at what that involves.
And it's pretty fascinating when you think about it, right? So many different cultures and religions have some kind of ritual for preparing for worship. It could be washing your hands, lighting a candle, or just finding a quiet corner. It seems to be this universal human thing, this need to consciously switch gears from our busy, everyday lives to a more spiritual mindset. So here are the 5 key things you've got to have in place. First up is purity, which involves a ritual washing called wudu. Second is just general cleanliness, your body, your clothes, and the spot where you'll be praying. Third is timing. Each prayer has its own specific time window. Fourth is direction, facing the Qibla in Makkah, which is pretty amazing when you think about it, connecting Muslims all over the world. And finally, number 5 is intention, or niyyah, which is where you take a moment to focus your heart and mind on the prayer you're about to perform. Okay, next up is what to wear. The main idea here is all about modesty. For men, the guideline is to cover the area from the navel to the knees, and it's also encouraged to wear clean, nice clothing. For women, the guideline is to cover the body except for the face and hands, typically with something light and comfortable that's easy to move in. All right, so we're all prepped and ready to go. Now, the prayer itself, what's really cool is that it's all built from this one single repeating unit, and that unit is called a rak'ah. So what is a rak'ah? Well, you can think of it like one verse in a song or maybe one set in a workout routine. It's the fundamental building block. Some prayers might have 2 of these, others 3 or 4, but they're all made from the same basic sequence. And this is what that cycle actually looks like. One rak'ah flows through these different postures. It starts with standing, which is called qiyam, to recite. Then you go into bowing or ruku, then rising back up, and then prostrating, sujud, where your forehead touches the ground. I mean, that movement alone, going from standing tall to putting your forehead on the ground, that's a really powerful act of humility. So now that we know what a rak'ah is, let's see how it's used to build the 5 different prayers that happen throughout the day. Each one has its own timing, its own length, and its own unique feel. And this table here, it lays it all out perfectly. You've got the name of the prayer, roughly when it happens, how many rak'ahs are in it, and even whether the recitation is out loud or silent. This schedule really gives the entire day its rhythm. So the whole day is framed by these 5 prayers. It all kicks off with Fajr, the dawn prayer, in those quiet moments just before the sun comes up. Then, right in the middle of the workday comes Dhuhr, the noon prayer, which is like a spiritual reset button. As the day starts to wind down, you have Asr, the afternoon prayer, a moment for reflection. Then, right as the sun sets, Maghrib marks that beautiful transition from day into evening. And finally, the day closes with Isha, the night prayer, a time for some quiet contemplation before you rest. So, we've gone through the steps, the building blocks, and the daily schedule. Let's kind of zoom out one last time and just think about what all this really means for someone's life. See, at the end of the day, this is so much more than just a to-do list. It's a spiritual framework for your entire life. Your day isn't just marked by meals and work anymore. Instead, it's anchored by these 5 powerful moments to pause, to reflect, and to reconnect with your faith, no matter what else is going on. And that really brings us to a final question for you.
When you think about it, we all have rituals, big or small, whether it's a daily prayer, a morning coffee, or a family dinner. Understanding the rituals that are important to other people doesn't just teach us about them, it can also help us see the patterns and the meaning in our own lives. So it makes you wonder, what are the rituals that shape your day?